Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for May 22, 2023, the Unexpected Consequences edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times in an article on works and careers entitled Life in the Age of Mass Layoffs. It turns out that there are some interesting questions. Number one, how are these losses shaping the workforce of the future? And what are the odds of being made jobless has any remote plausible upside? What if the layoffs become such standard business practice that they're the changing nature of workplace? One study suggests, all else equal, the commonplace layoff may be contributing to the vast employees who are less likely to remain with their current employers. In other words, companies treating workers poorly cause workers to believe companies treat them poorly. Wonder where that insight came from. Next up, it turns out Jeffrey Epstein threatened to blackmail Bill Gates over the Microsoft co-founder's affair with a Russian bridge player. The disgraced financier was trying to set up a philanthropic fund that he hoped would include the billionaire, as an anchor donor. So, Jeffrey Epstein reaches out from the grave and continues to sow unrest. Next up, from the New York Times, Uber's diversity chief is put on leave after comments of insensitivity. The reason being, she moderated an employee event entitled "Don't Call Me Karen," which is alleged to have been insensitive to people of color. It was meant to be a dialogue, but those who attended did not feel that they were heard. It was an event obviously focused on the Karen persona, and many workers felt they were being lectured on the difficulties experienced by white women, and that while Karen was a derogatory term, and people shouldn't use that to call people. Of course, the term Karen is slang for white women with a sense of entitlement. And now that's a trigger word for white people. Unbelievable. And finally, from Reuters, Florida's governor is trying to disqualify a federal judge from the lawsuit filed by Disney. Of course, it's always difficult when you try to disqualify a federal judge, and certainly the DeSantis team is really, this is a pretty much all or nothing move. If you try to disqualify a federal judge claiming their bias, well, you're going to pretty much guarantee getting results that you don't want. So good luck with that as DeSantis tries to run riot over the federal judiciary. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.